Millions intended for COVID relief in St. Louis County has ended up in the hands of out-of-state consultants.
News 4 Investigates is asking what you're getting as a result of 2 lucrative contracts paid for with your tax dollars. Tonight, Chris Nagus is watching out for you.
This 367-page report was produced for St. Louis County by the Boston Consulting Group for $1.9 million. That's more than $5,000 a page. Is that information that valuable?
It has been for us.
The county's director of transformation defends the expense, saying it will help county government improve services and eventually save the county money. But not everyone is praising this expense.
Meanwhile, all these businesses are struggling.
Ben Brown owns Satchmo's in Chesterfield and was a vocal critic of COVID restrictions that forced restaurants like his to close indoor dining. He believes the money should have stayed closer to home.
Any amount that they could have directed to any of these businesses that are struggling right now would have been huge.
St. Louis County received more than $170 million in CARES dollars from the federal government. $22 million went to local businesses. Some got up to $15,000 apiece. Brown says he got nothing because he violated the county's shutdown order. County Executive Dr. Sam Page has authority over how the money is spent, but the feds do have a requirement. All expenses must be necessary expenditures incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to coronavirus. County Council member Tim Fitch read the Boston Consultants report.
I've worked at St. Louis County since 1983, so a long time. And I saw nothing new in there that I saw as like eye-opening, like, wow, this is a great idea. We had never thought about that before.
Fitch is convinced local dollars would have never been used.
It's a lot of money, and I'm sure the way they probably looked at it is, well, this is federal money. It's not real money.
Did we only do this because it was federal money?
We definitely have the opportunity with the federal funding to reinvest in how we think about how we provide better government customer service and efficiency to our residents.
Is this something we were thinking about spending local tax dollars on?
I'm really only here to talk about what we did do with the opportunity that we had with the federal funding from CARES. We had the opportunity and we took it as a good investment, as a reinvestment in how we're continuing to provide, great customer service to our residents.
One of those residents is Lon Zimmerman of Creve Coeur. He was recently asked to participate in a focus group by a consultant on behalf of St. Louis County.
Just to gather input about what our experiences were in the age of COVID-19, what we experienced and stuff.
Zimmerman's consultant was also from Boston, but turns out it's a totally different consulting contract, one awarded to a company called Community Catalyst for just over $500,000, also funded by CARES dollars awarded to the county. What were some of the questions?
What were your experiences? What were your concerns? They were pretty plain vanilla type questions. It was not really in depth, and which sort of made me wonder, what kind of actionable information are they going to be able to turn over to their client?
Zimmerman's opinion is just that, but his background makes it more interesting. 2 years ago, he retired from a career doing market research, which included running focus groups.
I think you told me that the contract was for $500,000. That is a substantial amount in the almost 30 years that I was in the business. I think the largest thing we had was maybe about $75,000 to $80,000. And that was really complex and really detailed.
According to the county, Community Catalyst surveyed 3,100 residents, held 34 focus groups, and did interviews with leaders of public service organizations. The information will be compiled into reports, and according to the county, it will determine COVID's impact on historically underserved communities. The county's new health director defends it.
It was worth it if it produces the right results, which I am confident it will. And again, this is something that is being done across the country because we really, as a system at the federal, state, and local level, were not prepared for an emergency of this magnitude. It overwhelmed us.
As for the more expensive Boston consulting contract, what did they do for $2 million?
They're experts in strategic management and thinking about how systems and programs can do things better.
Andrea Nelson Roberts says Boston Consulting wasn't the lowest bid, but was picked because of their extensive experience working with local governments. She says the consultants identified ways to save between 15 and 25 million on how the county procures contracts. Does that number sound a bit ambitious to you? I mean, that just sounds like a huge amount of savings. And how exactly is that going to happen?
Well, that's what we're working out in the details.
We hear that often is if you give us tax dollars and allow us to spend it, we will save you more money than you spent on the consultant report. I've heard that my whole career, and I've yet to see that ever happen.
So if we come back to you a year from today, should we discover that the county has saved at least $15 million a year for spending this $2 million?
Well, I think that we definitely want to continue the conversation on how those cost savings are being applied. But more specifically for us, it really is how are we improving government services for our residents and making them more efficient. And we know that there are cost savings and efficiency time savings embedded in those changes.
Can you guarantee there will be cost savings as a result of this consulting work?
Yes.
So the countdown clock is on. We marked next March down in our Outlook calendar just over 360 days ago. That's when we'll do a follow-up to see if spending $2 million actually saved us millions more, which would be a good thing for anyone that pays taxes in St. Louis County. Meanwhile, if you want to see the entire consulting report, we have a link to it on our website, KMOV.com. Chris Negus, News 4 Investigative.